almost time to gather and share your weekly recaps. Gather and share your takes. We've always got you covered with comics, TV shows, movies, and all the bullshit. Oh boy, do we love that last one. Ready to gather? It's time for the gathering of the geeks. Without further ado, here are your hosts.
We are Gathering of the Geeks. We're a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one where Orlok has long legs. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lausser and my coach beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how you doing tonight?
Good. I'm trying to get used to this.
Yeah. That's okay. It's all a process. No stress.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, that's right. That's your mantra. That's a t-shirt right there. Like
I think it's a good t-shirt.
TV shows, movies, comics, streaming. We'll get to it.
All that bullshit.
All of that bullshit. Gathering the Geeks, it's available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search for Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us right there. Chris, I don't have anything quippy to talk about off the start. You got anything you want to chat about before we get into the stuff?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, sounds good. So what'd you get up to this week? See, my week went by really fast. I don't know about yours, but how was yours?
It feels like it went by slowly, but I didn't do anything, so maybe that's why it was a pretty calm week for me, which is unusual. Also, I spent the majority of it playing The Last of Us 2, as you know.
Yes.
Today, I finished it last night, and today I was like, well, what am I supposed to do now?
That's right.
What am I supposed to do with my time? So that was kind of sad for me today. I was like, well...
Had to come back to reality. Hated when that happens.
There is that secondary mode, so there's that. I'll get to it when I get to it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that was kind of my thing. Aside from that, though, I did read some things. I finally caught up with Absolute Wonder Woman, which I've been meaning to, but I don't know about you, but when comics start piling up, much like a TV show, I just don't want to go through it. I just leave it alone.
Yep. Set it off to the side somewhere.
Yeah, and I will get to it maybe eventually. Odds are probably not, unless there's a reason for me to. In this case, I just wanted to see what happened because the end of the arc is coming. So I read issues 2, 3, and 4. The funny thing about Wonder Woman specifically is that I made sure to buy the number 1 because I wanted the number 1 issues for all the Trinity.
Right.
I'm not even sure where it is.
No.
I think it's in the car still.
What?
I'm pretty sure that it is in the back of my car.
Oh my goodness! In a bag of some sort, I hope.
Yeah, it's in a bag. It's in the comic book bag. The comic book store bag.
Collecting dust.
Yeah, I don't know what else is in. I actually think Detective is in that book too. I could be wrong. I don't know.
It's a good comic book haul.
Yeah, it's that in some other book because it was a buy 2 get 1 free day. So I don't know what I bought.
Right.
Bought stuff. When it's free, you just hey, I'll take this.
I'll take it. Trust me, I know.
Actually, that day at first, I was overwhelmed. I started grabbing trades that I was never going to read.
You have those in the back of your car as well?
No, I put those back. And I just got singles that I will never read. But anyway, so I read 2, 3, and 4 of Absolute Wonder Woman. What a cool story! I like that it's such a take, which is unusual for me to like takes. But I think because I don't really have an attachment to standard Wonder Woman, And also, I just like the idea of her fighting monsters and doing magic and stuff. And the arm thing was something.
Yep.
I did not expect that. And then, like, okay, so this is a spoiler, but it's I don't remember what issue it was in because I read, like, in succession. And they bleed
Yeah.
together. She loses an arm in one book
Mhm.
and then uses magic to get it back.
Mhm.
So, but is it her real arm or is it like a fake? What is it? I guess it's a
It's
real
a
arm.
fake. It's a fake arm because she cut her arm off in issue 2
Well, yeah,
or 2
yeah,
or 3.
but the magic arm, is it like her real arm now, or is it just
It's as real as magic makes it, I suppose, if that's how you want to think of it. It's not a real arm.
believing in magic? Is it still an arm?
I'm gonna say no, it's not an arm because like that whatever that tentacle thing cut it off or ripped it off, and it was just exactly where she had cut it off before. So I think it's just a fake magic arm.
Interesting.
Her real arm is gone and no more.
Okay. Well, either way, I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Hmm.
I like the big cockroach that she fights. It kind
Hmm.
of reminded me of Men in Black
Oh yeah,
without Vincent D'Onofrio. Pretty cool.
that's too bad.
Yeah, I think he would have been fun. I really just like the Absolute Wonder Woman stuff. I think that it's better than some of the other Wonder Woman stuff I've read, which is not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's fun. The only thing I don't really love is the art. There are some very awkward looking panels.
Yes.
There's a panel where she's petting Pegasus and Steve is in the background
Hmm.
and he looks like Johnny Bravo. And it's bizarre because in
Yeah.
every other panel he's shown as a very thin, normal, normal looking dude.
Hmm.
Whereas in that panel he is proportioned like Johnny Bravo.
Yep.
So, but yeah, good stuff. It's a good read.
Yeah, I really enjoyed 2, 3, and 4. I wasn't the highest on number 1. Mostly the big change about her being in hell.
Mm,
That was a little bit I don't know, surprise or whatever. But then 2, 3, 4, you spend more time with her and her mom, Cersei in this case, and then
yes.
you get more of the Steve Trevor stuff as well, which I thought was very interesting. I like the action, like specifically by the end of 4, where the sword is the biggest sword you've ever seen, the size of a building, using it to cut that weird tentacly squid cockroach thing in half, which I thought was great. I don't mind the art except when it comes to facial features and like characters. Like I think they do action very well. I think the action scenes are drawn quite well, and I think the colors are very good. But I had a hard time with any of the people. Like Steve Trevor's face looks weird, and even Diana's face looks weird. I think there's
Sometimes
something about the lines. It just doesn't add up.
they're
Just
very
something a little off for me.
angular, might be the word.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, everything it just angles. The
Hmm.
angles, like when you see them straight on, I think they look fine. But
Hmm.
once they're meant to have their heads turned or their bodies turned in some kind of way, it goes
Right.
haywire.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's odd.
It's also interesting. The book is very like it doesn't go anywhere. Like it takes place on a beach and in a room with a whole bunch of military people
Oh, it's a
and
lot
in
of
hell.
world building.
Yeah, like it doesn't go very far. Like I guess that was the same with Absolute Batman as well. Like for a while, Bruce didn't do too much. We just saw kind of Alfred following him around, uh, and even with the Superman one, like Superman and Lois didn't go too many places. They just kind of stood there and talked for a while,
They
and then
lingered
it was
about.
just yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's kind of just they're really selling us on the world before they get into doing too much. I think it was in issue number 2 or number 3. Wonder Woman mentions that there's other heroes
Hmm.
around, and we kind of see some of them when Diana gets her arm back. I guess you'd call that a hero. Just whoever um,
What hero?
the woman
Oh,
who
Etta
brings her
Candy.
arm back. Yeah, the
But
Candy. Yeah. So
she's not a hero character. She's a side character.
yeah,
She's like
yeah.
the
So
Alfred.
so we'll see if like we actually get. I'm waiting for the crossovers to start happening. I'm just wondering when that's going to be because this I think was I can't remember if they mentioned it in Batman other superheroes as of yet.
No, they've
Mhm.
just been so focused in Absolute Batman. I don't even know if there's a world outside of Gotham with the way they treat it.
Yeah.
It's only just been Gotham as far as I know. Superman is the same. They haven't said anything. But Wonder
Mhm.
Woman also might take place a little bit further in the timeline. Who knows?
Oh, okay. I never thought about that.
Yeah, that could be because we haven't they haven't said one thing or the other, but we know these other characters are coming. We
Mhm.
know there has to be an Ultimate Justice League on its way, or not Ultimate,
Yes.
Absolute,
Yes.
and
I
I
hope
am
so.
excited.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm curious what this giant Batman is going to look like next to smaller Superman.
Yeah, and he's like a kid too. He's not. He doesn't seem as old. Or I guess maybe Diana. Does Diana seem like she's the oldest one of the three so
I
far?
think by default, yeah, but Diana's usually the
Yeah,
oldest one anyway.
that's true.
But I don't know. I guess we'll see how they work together. That's going to be fun. Also,
Hmm.
every artist is going to draw them differently, so I'm curious how that's going to work. Like if some of these
Yeah.
features will stay. Like I
Hmm.
don't particularly like Diana's design that much. Now that I've
Hmm.
sat with it for 4 issues,
Hmm.
I like parts of it, but like the magic arm is weird for me now. I wish they wouldn't have done that in a way. Even though I like it, it's cool. I don't something about it. Too many
Yeah,
questions.
I like the idea behind it and why she had to do it. Um, like she had to sacrifice something to send Steve Trevor out of hell and back to Earth. I kind of like
But
that idea, but yeah, I'm kind of what I found weird was when she lost it and then she put that metal one on for half an issue. Or I was like, "What did you do that for? You didn't
and
even use the metal arm."
yeah, she just used it to point at stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And then the ritual to get the arm back included her basically drinking the blood of the innocent, which was odd.
indeed. Hmm.
I don't know. It's cool, but I'm curious, very curious.
Hmm.
Maybe it has something to do with her being in hell.
Yeah, well, I think it's a different kind of Diana where it's not all hope and optimism, I suppose.
Somewhat. That's all I read though. That was a lot for me in
Mhm.
one sitting.
Yeah, well, if you read 2, 3, 4, that is enough.
Yeah, that's a lot of reading in one sitting. So
Yeah. And the only other thing I read was Detective 1093 or 1039.
the new
Can't
one.
remember. Yeah, well, the newest one. And I mentioned it a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was the last time, and how there wasn't very much Bat Family in
Hmm.
this book. It's just yeah. So this is the issue where the Bat Family shows up. Literally almost all of them. Damien, Nightwing. Who's the yellow and black one? He's Luke
Signal.
Fox. Signal. He's in it. Batgirl's in it.
Which Batgirl?
Oracle is what they're called. So it's Babs somehow.
Oh yeah, because her back is fixed.
Yeah, yeah. So and then Jason Todd's there. So so this is like the first real time where they're all together, trying to save a whole bunch of kids around Gotham who were getting murdered. Just it's another great issue. I just really love this world that Tom Taylor's building out. Again, it's a little tough to keep it organized in my brain, having
Hmm.
Batman and Robin in this issue, and then the Batman and Robin Year One happening at the same time. But still, very good issue. Michael Yannen's art on all of the issues so far have just been incredible. Just they just draw a perfect Batman and lots of other characters too. So yeah, Detective, the newest issue, just continues to be great. That's it for my reads.
I looked at it and I was like, I do want to read some Batman, but I didn't.
You're getting far behind now.
It's part of the course. I will catch up with it next year.
Next year, yeah, you will.
Absolute Batman is the only title I'm keeping up with for some reason. I guess because it's different
Yeah.
and it's easier for me to get instead of because once you get into the weed, like we talked about, they're same.
Hmm.
Here's a Batman and Robin. Here's another Batman and Robin. Oh, here's another Batman and Robin. If you want them solo, you got to read the Zdarsky run, which I have not heard anything good about. So
Yes, not too much, anyways.
I will pass
It's
for now.
almost over.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the. Who is
We
the
get
new writer?
Hush.
I forgot.
Well, we get Hush part 2 for a while.
Oh yeah, Loeb is back. That's right.
Hmm.
Which I will read that because I like Loeb and I like Hush. Sort
Sure.
of. I like the story, not the character. I think the character's dumb.
Oh yeah, you don't like the character?
No, I don't get the character at all.
Oh really? Interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you took Clayface and just like he's really just the original Clayface. He switches faces.
Mm.
It's the same thing. Just one is rich.
Tommy Elliott is rich.
Yes. Dr.
All right.
Elliott.
Yeah, that's right. All right, so that's it for reads. Nice and short and sweet. What about some watches for you? Half hour. We're gonna have a half-hour show today. So
We might have a shorter show. Yeah.
yeah.
It was a light week. You could blame Ellie. I want to talk TV shows actually.
Mhm.
You watched some stuff. Well, you caught up with that Pit show, and I tried out the Hunting Party, which I kept seeing. This is one of those cases where they keep bombarding you with trailers, and you're like, okay, I'll watch it eventually, but they don't stop.
Get off my case.
Yeah, and then you just watch it to get them off your case. Yes. So I watched it, and it was a really fun show. It's it's about this prison that's designed kind of like an MCU supervillain prison. That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like that one we saw in
The
was it
raft?
Civil War?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like the raft, but it's not on water.
Mm-hmm.
But like all the prison is like there's a lot of glass, and you can see the prisoners, and then like a honeycomb type thing. So the prison gets destroyed essentially, and the prisoners escape, and they're all like high risk, extreme serial killers. Like this isn't your average Ted Bundy kind of thing.
Okay.
These are apparently a step above. And so they task this one FBI agent who just doesn't seem like they belong because they look really young. It's kind of funny. She looks like she's maybe late 20s, early 30s, but they want you to believe she's like a seasoned veteran of the FBI. I'm like, okay.
I get it.
I'll buy it. But she's really interesting. I like her story. And so she's part of a team that's tracking down all these killers. And that's what the show is. The first episode deals with, of course, one killer, and he's something. It's a neat little mystery in there. And it's not like an expensive show, so you're not looking at like a Lord of the Rings type budget thing. It just
they catch an escapee every single episode.
I'm guessing that's how it's going to work. Yeah, it's going to be like a villain of the week. It's like watching the superhero show, I guess.
Yeah,
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, so I liked it a lot, though. I will watch another episode and hope it stays as good or as entertaining.
How do they all escape? Is this like something mass riot or whatever?
No, so you're gonna have to what is the term? You're gonna have to get stretch your belief here.
Right.
This giant prison exists underneath a farm that you have to take an elevator in a barn to get to.
Okay.
And so the jail is located about 2 miles from one of the biggest nuclear sites in America.
Okay.
And a missile somehow travels from the basement of this missile warehouse into the prison. And that's how it happens.
Well, the way you described the show to me, like when you first started watching it, it sounded like a superhero show, and now it absolutely sounds like a superhero show. Like this sounds like a comic book.
I wouldn't be surprised if they reveal the FBI lady actually has like telekinesis or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Like in the finale, she just has a cape with her business suit. It wouldn't surprise me.
Anything wrong with that?
No, it's so far like it's fun. I'm sure the killers will be all colorful characters.
Oh yeah.
The one you meet in the first episode is pretty colorful. And of course, there's something else going on. The prison was doing other things, and
oh, absolutely, yeah, they were testing on kids or superheroes, making superhero factory at the bottom or whatever.
Think more Minority Report.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. It's in. I think there's gonna be one to keep an eye on and see.
Okay, interesting.
It could
it's just one episode
ridiculous
so far.
Stuff. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and so That's the only show I watch other than the usual stuff I have in the background.
Hmm.
I want to talk about the pit though. So you binged 3 episodes.
Yeah, I watched all 3 episodes, and I didn't know what day the episodes come out on. They come out on Thursdays apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that. So I have 1 episode to watch right now. Yeah, 4 episodes there total, and I've watched 3 so far. Yeah, it's a great show. Pretty simply, as long as you're like, and Cookie mentioned this when we were talking about it last week. It is quite stressful because it really doesn't slow down very much at all, which I think is one of the big selling points of the show. It starts at 7 a.m. And every episode is an hour in the life of nurses and doctors and patients at an ER in Pittsburgh, which is why it's called the Pit, which is kind of fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I assume that's like a metaphor for this is the hospital where everybody dies. Like they
Yeah.
end up in here and they die.
They go to the pit to die.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pit is what they call the ER, I guess, at a
Okay.
Pittsburgh hospital.
Got it.
Yeah, it's just good. It's very funny. It's got a lot of funny moments, a lot of very sad moments as well. Like when you're dealing with kids and you're dealing with the parents of these kids who are dying. I think that's a really I don't know, underused or underrealized aspect of the people who are dying is how it affects their family members. Which is, so there's one where an old guy, he's dying, and he has it in his will that he doesn't want to be resuscitated. He doesn't want to be put on any machines. But his kids have final right of refusal to do that, so they put him on these machines, and they go against his will, and he's in a lot of pain, and the doctor has to do what the kids are saying because they don't want to let go of their father, even though their father has said I'm ready to go when I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So seeing it from both sides of it, or 3 sides of it, you see it from the people who are the patients, you see it from the patient's family or friends, and then you see it from the care workers, which is what I think is, again, another selling point of, you see it from everyone's point of view, so you get a good understanding of how hectic and how real life and death is, I suppose. So, but yeah, like the characters are very good. There's a lot of characters coming in and out, a lot of characters with a backstory and everything, and the patients have backstories. And yeah, and I aside from 24, which I never watched 24, I never watched a show that's like straight time, where an hour is an hour, which I think is just a very smart way of doing a show. And like I said, I never watched 24. I don't know if you watch 24, if you like that kind of storytelling. But
seen it. I've seen anything like that before.
Yeah, so it just in this case, I think it just works really, really well. Obviously, showing how hectic an ER can be.
I think I've had enough sadness watching sad stuff recently, so I'm going to pass for the moment. Last of Us was dark enough for me.
Yep. Yeah, you'll need a while to get out of that hole.
Yeah, we got the show coming by the time I get over it.
Right.
Cookie says the Pit is incredible. Every episode gets better and better. Oh, so even the comments have this font. I don't like it on the comments.
Oh, Jesus.
It's better.
One thing I'll say about Cookie, I wonder about how you feel about this, is watching it weekly or watching it as a binge. I think will be interesting, because I watched all 3, or did I watch 2 and then 3? Maybe I watched 2 one night. No, I watched all 3 in one night, and that worked really well. Obviously, it's like 3 hours, but now I watched 3 hours and then waited a week, and now I'm watching 1 more hour. I'm wondering how that'll work. This feels like a great binge show, but I wonder if it'll work week to week. Cookie, I'm not sure if you watched all yours in one go, or if you were watching them weekly at the time, but I wonder how that'll go.
It's probably fun to start it. You said it starts at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So start watching at 7 a.m. and then just let it roll on.
Yeah, I don't know how many episodes it is. Like, it could be 8, could be 10, but yeah, that'd be interesting to see your whole life. You just go to work at an ER for a day.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, hey, I'm a part of the pit, not where everybody dies. The hospital. I think that'd be cool.
The actors, I don't know too many of them.
That's not Wiley's in it.
Yeah, the main guy who was in ER, that's like, I know of him, but I've never seen anything with him. One of the trainees is a character from Picard, the new Star Trek show. I think that's really it for the mains. I don't know too much about them, so that's a cool thing.
I'm glad I can't binge because it's too stressful. I did 3 at once. Now I'm dying. Oh, now I'm doing weekly.
There you go.
I can't really binge shows. It really depends what it is. Like some stuff I can run through, but I don't know. Like Castlevania, I pretty much ran through it.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah. But for some reason, like a regular TV series, I can't really do it. It's rare. Okay, so the pit is cool. I will get to it when I need something sad again.
Yep. No, it's not all sad. Just a little bit.
I'm surprised you said it's funny because it didn't sound funny.
No, there's a lot of funny stuff. There's a guy who gets, he gets a drink or medicine like Pepto-Bismol, and he has to shake it up, and he doesn't have the cap off, so it goes all over him, and he has to go to like a scrub transfer station to get new scrubs out of like a vending machine, but he has to take his old scrubs off first, so then he has to get changed. So he goes in like behind a curtain, and he gets changed in front of a dead guy.
Sounds hilarious.
Hey, this is your kind of humor, Chris.
It is my kind of humor, though.
It's
I
just
like
some small stuff, and like you're arguing, and which is fun. But then it's got a good blend, I think, of serious and the funny moments, which I think is a lot of good shows. A lot of good anything is like that, where it can blend.
Yeah, blend is
the humor and the serious.
The blend is always good. The Kraken, I was dying.
Yeah, then there's the rats and stuff. Like, yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Okay, well, that sounds fun.
I haven't got to the Kraken yet. I think that's the 4th episode, Cookie. I'm not there yet, I think. I saw that in the description, though.
The Kraken. Okay. So, and then as far as TV goes, I also watched Mayfair, this was the episode with Felix, I think was last week. Was it?
Yeah, you mentioned that you thought he was in it, and we talked about it.
Okay, it is him.
So it is him, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is him. And if they bring him back, he needs a dialect coach or something. That accent is bad. Like,
what is it?
It's bad.
I can't remember.
He's supposed to sound like he's from Louisiana, but he sounds like he's from a version of Louisiana that exists in the middle of London or something. I don't know. It's a bizarre sound coming out of his mouth. I almost wish they would just let him speak with whatever he actually sounds like.
I can't remember if he spoke in an interview.
He did, but it was brief.
Okay.
For some reason, I guess it was more noticeable here. I think because he was being philosophical. So you paid attention to what he was saying.
That's right.
Or before it was like, I got you a rat. Or whatever he told him. I don't remember. But Mayfair Witches was good. I thought it was a good episode.
Cool.
I still like what they're doing. We'll see how it continues. I didn't know this. The fans of the book hate this movie. Or sorry, this TV series.
There's fans of the book?
Yeah, the books are beloved, actually.
Oh, okay.
They're I don't know if they're as popular as the Vampire Chronicles, but they are very popular and people are very opinionated. Especially because this is the first go at the witches, and like people hate what is her name? Jessica Daddario.
Alexandra Daddario.
That's her too.
Yep. They don't like her?
No, they can't stand her. And apparently she doesn't look the way the character does in the book.
Oh, of course not. People don't like that.
No, they don't. Which, I mean, first go, I kind of get it, though. You want to see your characters done right.
Fair enough.
Like, I could imagine if the Queen of the Damned was the first Vampire Chronicle thing, I would have lost my shit. But anyway, so that was good. I checked out The Bad Guys with my kid, and it's like Ocean's 11 for children, and it's so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I didn't really know what it was. I remember when it came to theaters, we wanted to go, but we didn't get around to it for whatever reason. I think maybe it was like during the pandemic or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was one of those straight to streaming type deals.
Was it? Okay. I don't remember, but I enjoyed this one, and I didn't know the sequel's not out yet, so I'm sure now we are waiting for the sequel, which is in August. I think that'll be a good time also. And it's also just kind of funny that the main character, Wolf, is essentially George Clooney as an animal. And they make the George Clooney joke, too. And I guess the snake would be Rusty. That's kind of what I got out of it.
I never thought about who Brad Pitt's character would be.
He'd be the snake. So I watched that. That was a good time. An interesting time is what we're going to call this. I watched Craven the Hunter.
Oh, you did watch it.
I did. I did. I
Mm.
wasn't going to. I was like, there's a lot of other things I could watch, but I do want to see what this is. And I got to say, it wasn't that bad.
Hmm.
I actually enjoyed it. The action is cool. Russell Crowe's great in it, but he's also Russell Crowe, and is he not good in something? I think. Like you can even watch Virtuosity, which is a horrible movie, but he's fun in it.
Oh, skinny Russell Crowe. Remember that time?
That man doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, seems like forever ago.
No, now you have this stocky, rude Australian Russell Crowe. It's great.
Right.
I always had this is funny. This came to mind just now. There was an old interview where someone asked like, "Who's one of the smelliest actors you've ever worked with?" He was on that list.
I could see that.
Yeah, I could too. But
He
anyway,
seems like a sweater.
he does look like a sweaty guy.
Hmm.
Sweaty Crow. Yeah. He's good in the movie though. The action's cool. I wish I could explain the plot or talk about it, but I don't know what happened.
Hmm.
Like things just occur. There's no rhyme or reason. It also has something on the level of Madam Web's ending of stupidity.
Nice.
Yes. I will say I liked it more than Venom 3 at least.
Not hard.
No, so like the Sony movie ranking for 2024 for me would probably be he looks like he smells. Yeah. There's a whole list of these smelly celebrities. He's one of them apparently. The one I don't expect is Brad Pitt though. Apparently he smells terrible.
He seems like someone who just wouldn't shower. Like he's not a shower guy.
Is there a difference? I mean, if you don't, you lead not showering leads to smelling.
No, like some people, like they
Oh, like a
really
natural.
yeah, they give it the college try and get the smell away. I think Brad Pitt just doesn't try.
Yeah, he doesn't shower. I think
Yeah.
that was the thing. And now there's Leonardo DiCaprio. Go
That's right.
figure.
Hmm.
Anyway, though, yeah, things just happen in the movie. No rhyme or reason.
Mhm.
I would say this is the best of the Sony movies last year. Madam Web would be 2, 3 would be Venom. Stick it in a fire and burn it.
Mhm. What
And
about your boy?
Oh, he was fine in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine in it. He's only like I think he's only crap in a couple things I've seen him in. It wasn't really his fault.
Yeah.
And this particularly though, I think he was meant to have the accent, but he doesn't. It just kind of comes and goes.
What does he have? One too?
What?
Is it Australian accent too, or English, or what is it?
Well, they're
South
Russian or Serbian.
Oh,
They're
okay.
supposed to be Serbian. So, like
Okay.
Russell Crowe has the accent heavily.
Sure.
His kind of comes and goes, but his character was also in New York for most of his life, so I kind of get it.
Mm.
But the fact that they made him like Batman is weird. He's heroic and he's known around the world, but he's a myth.
Okay.
I don't know. It's entertaining. If you have nothing else to watch, it's there. Brad Pitt is notoriously stinky. Yes.
100%.
And in some court documents, they call him Stinky Daddy or something. It's weird. Like, if you have that much money, you can afford soap or cologne or something.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on from Craven, as I think most people would like to. I have started down the David Lynch journey.
Yay.
Yeah, I got him confused with David Fincher for the longest time. I thought they were one human,
Okay.
and I thought their films were the same films.
Mm.
I didn't know there was to separate them because it's a different person.
Oh,
So he passed away, and everybody's been talking about all his movies. Like, well, I haven't seen a damn thing from this guy.
Mhm.
I don't get the hype. What is it? And then I watched Blue Velvet,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to use the word masterpiece. I love Blue Velvet.
Yes.
It is so good, and it's so like the tone is so wacky. Because
Hmm.
like it starts out, I was like, how old is this movie? I didn't realize that it was only just made in the middle of the 80s. Because
Yep.
it feels like it's made in like the 50s or 60s, the way it's imitating
Yep.
that time.
That's right.
It's just weird. And then the way it escalates into this, I don't know what the hell it is. It just keeps going. And it gets weirder by the scene because at first, like, okay, he wants to check out what's going on. He's gonna hide her. Hey, she's getting naked. He's just sitting there. And
Yeah.
then they
And
have,
then
yeah, then they have like a relationship, and oh, and the Dennis Hopper. So
yeah.
Dennis Hopper is an actor. I know I've seen a lot of stuff with him, but I can't ever really place him. Like, what have I seen other than The Crow?
Hmm.
Because he's weird, and the Super Mario Brothers movie. I know he's a villain in Speed, and he's in other stuff. But now this, particularly that first scene with him, will forever be my Dennis Hopper go-to memory.
Hmm.
When he just starts screaming about what baby wants to do, it's just like,
And
what am
sucking
I?
on his air mask.
Yeah, total surprise because I should say I went into this completely blind. I didn't know what it was.
Right.
I knew nothing about what this movie was.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, though it pleasantly surprised. It's a good time. It's a really good time. Something I'll
Well,
probably watch again. Also,
yeah, well, like you said, the start of it starts off like white picket fence and good
like
looking.
Pleasantville.
Yeah, exactly. Colin McLaughlin and Laura Dern, and then all of a sudden there's the toe, and then all of a sudden there's this, and all of a sudden there's that, and then it just doesn't stop.
It does
Being
not.
and then there's this, and next. And that's really the when you watch more David Lynch stuff, that's the David Lynch model. It starts off
Oh,
as something, and then it just goes completely off the rails, completely out into space, and you just can't get back. He just takes you on a complete ride with all of his stuff. So he is one of those ones you just let him take you on a ride, um, and enjoy it or don't. But
yeah.
you
I can
got
see this could be a love or hate thing.
100%. And there's going to be stuff you just like. I have no idea what that was. I have like I've watched a couple of his things multiple times, and I still have no idea what's going on. I'm not sure he knows what's going on. If you read the actors, their experience on the movies and TV shows, they have no idea what's going on. He's just very much an experience type of filmmaker where you just hold on and see where it takes you. Because yeah, it'll go some wild places.
I think my favorite scene, and I can't explain to you why it's my favorite scene, is when they take Colin McLaughlin's character for a ride,
The joyride, yeah.
the joyride, and they get out of the car, they start fighting with them, and they put on that Roy Orbison song, which I actually love that song, and now I will always see it differently. But anyway, they're playing the song and they're fighting with them, and then the girl randomly gets on the top of the car and just starts dancing. I just love that scene. I think
Yep.
that scene just kind of describes the whole movie for me.
Mm,
It just that's it. It wraps it up real nice.
nice.
Yeah, next on the list is Wild at Heart.
Yeah, that well, when Cookie and the guys talked about that on Where Do We Get Here, I was surprised. I think I was talking with you about it. That you or maybe you just mentioned it, but that you hadn't seen that one.
No,
I'm
I
surprised you haven't seen that.
okay, said you should check out Wild at Heart, Nick Cage and Lynch. Yes, that is the next one, especially because I watched this thing where they asked Nicolas Cage something about David Lynch, and he told this story of how he made him sing a song in front of, I want to say it was a vice president or something,
Hmm.
and he used to call him Nickster. Yeah, I have to see Wild at Heart now.
Yeah.
I'm going down this road with David Lynch, and I think I like it.
Well, yeah, you'll go down the road of David Lynch, and you'll just see Laura Dern consistently. So, and she's great in almost everything that
You know
he's
what's funny?
done
I
with
was
him.
when I was
So,
watching, I was like, "Is that Dr. Ellie Stadler? Is that
hmm.
Jurassic Park?" And then I was like, "That is her."
Yep.
Then again, I didn't realize how when this movie was made. For some reason, I thought it was late '90s before I watched it,
Mm,
and then I was like, "Is this
okay.
when the hell was this made?" Good stuff.
Yeah, he had quite the run in the late 70s to the 80s. What's some pretty crazy stuff.
I like it.
Mhm.
That's all I watched.
Small stuff for you.
Yeah, the main thing was Craven and Blue Velvet, which also the song is really good. I've been listening to the song a lot.
Yeah, a lot of good music in the Lynch stuff too.
Yeah, based on Blue Velvet. Yeah.
Okay, my two movie watches this week. I watched Longlegs. Can't remember when I started it. Can't remember when I messaged you about that, Chris.
It's been a while, I think.
So that was late last week. Maybe I started it last Sunday after the show, or maybe it was Monday. Anyway, so it took me 3 times to get through it. Not because of how bad it was, just because of I guess how it made me feel, how scary it was. So in a roundabout way, I really like this movie. I like the story of it. I think like the devil worship thing was not what I was expecting. And actually, like in a roundabout way, I was thinking about like devil worship being like, oh, in a lot of cases, from when I think of devil worship, the devil's never real. In all these cases, it's just like a couple of fanatics thinking about the devil and then killing people because they love the devil. In this case, and in a certain point in the movie, like you actually hear the devil.
Do you?
I think it's the person on the phone who
Yeah.
calls her at the end. Anyway, so like the idea that there's like actual devil, actual mystical forces in work in play, I think I really like that idea. I like how creepy it was with, I guess, just the setting most of the time. A lot of empty space is often quite scary. Nick Cage as Longlegs is complete bonkers, and I loved how you don't see him for a while, like a long while in the movie. You get like see half of his face, or the camera cuts. I think they did a really brilliant job with doing that. But then when you get the stuff at the in the interrogation room, it's like, oh my
that was
god,
nice.
just absolutely crazy. So I really like the movie, really like the story, really like the visuals. I'm not sure that I like Micah Monroe.
Okay.
Like I thought to myself that she was completely stale throughout the entire movie until 20 minutes, 30 minutes left in the movie, when it felt like the story was really picking up with her mom and all that kind of stuff. But I just felt like she was just, I don't know, staring aimlessly at things and not giving me any facial expressions and not giving me any real emotion for a while. I don't think I never seen anything with them in it. I think maybe this is their style and maybe that's what they do, or this is just what the movie is. And what their character was, but I didn't feel too much from her until we really got into what was going on with her mom, and where Longlegs came from and all that kind of stuff. Maybe again that was the point of it, but just for a while, I'm like, I could not see her on the screen for a while, and give me more Blair Underwood, and I would be very happy with that.
Okay, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, but really, yeah, I tried to watch this. Like it took me 3 times to watch it this time. I tried 2 other times before this, and I just you get to the credits were rolling, and I couldn't, I just figured I couldn't do it. And it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Like there's the stuff with the maggot lady, the maggot family, I should say, and then obviously Longlegs smashing his face. But a lot of it's just tense and open space.
A lot of it's just tense.
Quick cuts, quick cuts and sound and all that kind of stuff, and like atmosphere. Which again is scary enough for sure. But yeah, there's a lot I appreciated about the movie. Really, really well done horror movie, that's for sure.
I love this movie. So I would say though, you might want to give Micah Monroe another shot in something else.
Yeah, I've got to see what else.
Yeah,
they can
she's
do.
pretty good in others. I thought she was good in this too, but in this, yeah, she is kind of I don't want to say emotionless.
Yeah,
but I would say stoic might be the word, or the word.
Yeah, and like they play up her character being whatever the clairvoyance
Yeah,
that she has, and like she's a different kind of cat to begin with.
yeah,
But
it's
just
more
I
about the
don't know.
story with her in this one. I think for what it is, it works, and I enjoyed it. Nicolas Cage, I like that he's not in it all the like a lot, and because I
Hmm.
think when you do see him, it makes it worth it. Also, fun fact: his last line in the movie before he dies is "Hail Satan," which is also his last line in the movie
Hmm.
of Renfield when he dies. Yes, I like
Beautiful
that connectivity there. Unofficial.
connectivity in the Nick Cage 6 degrees of
The Nick
separation.
Cage verse, the Nickster verse,
Yeah,
I
that's right.
suppose.
Reverse, yeah. Just pictured. just I, there's a just funny thing about that. There's a funny thing that goes around Naomi Watts talking about David Lynch because she's in
Mhm.
Mulholland Drive and she does an impression of David Lynch. And I would like her impression. I'd like to hear her say Nixter. I think that would be
It
very
might be
funny.
out there. I don't know.
I'm sure it is.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. Though. I didn't know if you were going
Um,
to.
yeah, I wasn't sure either, but it was just really really well done, really well shot, and legitimately
Mm.
scary. Um, which I I at the end of the day I did appreciate, and it hasn't I've been able to sleep
Good.
ever since, so I'm okay
You know,
with
I
that.
also did you like the ambiguous nature of it? Like, is it Satan? Is it not?
Yeah, I was pretty sure
Okay.
that it was. I was like in that phone call, and she answers it, and there's that gravelly voice on the other side. I'm like, okay, that's
Now we
Satan.
need to get you to watch
I'm cool.
Heretic.
I'm cool with it. Yeah.
We got
Little
to come full
Huey.
circle on the 2024 horror.
Yeah, yeah, you might as well.
Get you
Yeah,
some
might as well.
blueberry pie.
See, you were saying so many things from Nosferatu that now I know, and I got to get to the substance because I don't know what you're talking about with
I don't
that
think I
stuff.
mentioned it.
So,
Just the balance. You got to respect it. That's all.
yeah, exactly. I don't know what you're
But
talking
I know
about.
you won't like the substance. So
Yeah, see, when I tried to watch Nosferatu the other night, I'm going to get to talking about Nosferatu, but I tried to watch Nosferatu the other night and I couldn't. So I'm like, oh, let's see if the substance is available, and thankfully it wasn't. So it saved me a little bit of time
yeah,
on that one.
I'm pretty sure you would turn it off.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, Nosferatu. I started to watch it last night. Watched about half hour and then just got tired and went to bed. And then I watched the rest of it today. Um, Chris, when you've been told a movie is great, when you've been told a movie is brilliant, and then you go to watch that movie, do you think, okay, where is the moment? Um, where is the moment that where I see the
I don't like where
greatness?
this is
Do you
going.
go into movies? No, do you go into movies thinking like that? Like, oh, okay, this is where people this is where it is.
Uh,
This is why this movie is the way it is.
Sometimes because we all hype up movies that we love, so sometimes yeah, and then sometimes that moment
Hmm.
doesn't come. It doesn't.
Ex- so it happened for me in this movie. The first time that you hear Count Orlok's voice, I said to myself, "This movie is
Yes.
incredible," because there is not a single voice and I can't remember if I read this somewhere or if it's not, but I think
It
that is
is.
Bill Skarsgård doing
Yeah.
that voice.
He trained with an opera singer to get his
Like
voice down.
he's got emphysema, he's got everything wrong with him, but like when I heard him speak for the first time, and I'm fairly certain it was when he's with what's his name,
Well, that's him at the
Thomas.
start.
Okay, so I watched that part on my iPad, so it didn't come
Oh,
through all the
okay.
way, and then I watched when I got to the part today. I was watching it on my computer actually. Um, when I got to the part where he meets him for the
Mhm.
first time around the
Yeah.
table or whatever, and you really hear the voice, and you can hear him breathing. It's like you can see the audio coming out of his mouth almost. Like you can see the sound waves. I was like, this is beyond incredible. And then, so I've heard people talk about, like you talked about how great Nicholas Holt is. I know our buddy Phil Walsh has talked about how good Lily Rose
Yeah.
Depp is. Count Orlok, Bill Skarsgård, and Willem Dafoe make this movie for me totally. Like I think Count Orlok is incredible. The visuals, again, I talked about this when they were showing Longlegs, how you see him, you don't see him. The shadows in this movie, and then the big reveal at the end. But yeah, the voice work just from Bill Skarsgård alone makes that character. Um, And then Willem Dafoe as, the Van Helsing character. I forget what his name was.
He's Van Helsing. I don't even know.
I
I've
can't
seen the
remember what
movie
his name
twice.
is.
I have no idea. It's Van Helsing.
Yeah, it's Von
I think it's
something.
Von
Anyways,
Herod.
yeah, Von Urs. Anyways, I thought they were just incredible. The first moment you see him, the little bit of joy just in in that character for some reason. I don't know. Like he finds joy in the understanding of this dark world and everything. And yeah, how he guides Lily Rose Depp's character and how he guides Nicholas Holt's character and how he's like the one against many in the occult and everything like that. I had a great time with that character and yeah, the visually, I think we talked about this, how or you mentioned to me one time, like you would like to see this as a black and white movie. It's basically a black and white movie.
It's close enough already.
It's so close to be black and white, but the visuals are so good. The sound is so good. And I wasn't as scared as I thought I was going to be. I was creeped out a whole bunch of times, like specifically the ending. Where Count Orlok's doing his business there, and he's forgetting getting the sun's coming up there. But I love the way the camera moves in this movie, how it's slow. There's no there's no like jump cuts. There's no like turns and quick things like that. It is very much.
Does it sound like a thumbs up? Yes, Ferratu.
Yeah. I loved like there's long shots. Like everything really takes the time with how it moves and everything like that. I wish the movie was actually longer.
Yes, welcome, brother.
It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. It could have been 2.5. It would have been good at 2:45, I think. Like you mentioned this to me last night, how like you thought it moved very well. Like it does. It moves very well, and I think it could have done with a little bit more. More famine and more plague and more Count Orlok getting up to some crazy shit and killing people.
That's kind of thing for me. If it were to be longer, I would want more Orlok, because I feel like we get a lot of the other characters and they keep him a little bit more hidden for a reason, but a little bit more wouldn't hurt. Let's see him attack another person. I don't know.
Yeah. Let him suck the blood out of somebody's chest one more time. Yeah, I had a great time. And I mentioned Skarsgård, and I mentioned Willem Dafoe. Nicholas Holt's very good as well. Lily Rose Depp, very good. I had a hard time with the old-timey nature of how everyone talked, and I had a hard time with that when I'm watching Bram Stoker's Dracula too, hearing Winona Ryder and Keanu Reeves talk old-timey. And they were bad in that movie. At least in this movie, Nicholas Holt and Lily Rose Depp are good, but still the old-timey nature to it just takes a little bit to getting used to.
I don't know. I didn't. Like if you watch The Witch, they speak Old English. To me, that's difficult. Yep. This one, they were easier. They weren't speaking that Old English, but also these actors look like they belong in this time period. Like if someone told me this was like portraits of older actors, I might believe it. Like, yeah, okay, I got it. And this movie actually gave me hope that there is more to Nicholas Holt. So that's good.
Yeah, very good movie. Very scary, or not very scary, but very well done. Scary when it had to be, I think, especially with the Count Orlok stuff. I like one of the things I love most about Bram Stoker's Dracula is how Gary Oldman's character is over here, but then the shadows on the other side, and kind of the switcheroos that they do. And I like the subtle ones that they do a little bit with Count Orlok at the start, where he's sitting one way and then he's right behind Nicholas Holt's character. So I like that kind of stuff. I like the the stuff on the ship. We get the Demeter and all that kind of Demeter and all that kind of stuff. So they really hit all of the key moments, I think, for a really for the, even if you're maybe that I wanted to ask you this is how you relate it with the Dracula type of deal. Like I know Bram Stoker, you like Bram Stoker, but for me, Bram Stoker's Dracula is the vampire story. And I think you have Bela Lugosi's Dracula. Where do you align with Nosferatu and the vampires, and this is basically Dracula and all that kind of stuff? Where do you align it with your standard Dracula vampire story now.
Nosferatu, for me, and I know this might be a touchy one. For me, it annihilates Bram Stoker's Dracula, but more so because this is more of a horror story where I see Bram Stoker's more like a romance thing, which is good. I like, when I rewatched it last year, I think it was, I really liked it a lot more than I did before. So I'm not, I don't mean it as in a bad thing, but I do like this a lot more. It's more in line with what I want. And it takes some stuff from the book that I appreciate, and I like the way that it handles it. It ranks pretty high for me though, and I don't really consider Orlok a separate entity because it's Dracula.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only thing it really is missing are the brides. That's basically it. Because it's the same thing really. But I love this movie. I really, really love it. I think the behind the scenes stuff that's coming out now has been something to see. There's some cursed images. Yeah, Skarsgård without the hair and the mustache, but the rest of the makeup, like, I don't want to see that. It's so weird looking. Stuff with him speaking his normal voice in the makeup, that's weird.
That would be so bizarre.
It's like when you see that clip of Colin Farrell in the Penguin makeup, but he's speaking as Colin Farrell. It's weird. But this is a vampire movie that it's going to be a go-to for me. Like when my 4K comes in next week, I'm very excited. This is a go-to.
I would agree with that. Yeah, I think, and like Bram Stoker's for me, and like horror movie, and we talked about this. I can't remember when we talked about this, or I've said this once before. There were different levels of horror movies. There's the horror good time movies, and then there's the horror, like it's a horror movie, and like meant to scare you, meant to be a real movie. Yeah, and like Nosferatu is a real deal horror movie. It's a real deal movie. Like it's got great actors, great visual sound, great everything, great story. It literally it checks all of the boxes, and I'm not sure if it misses on any of them. Like there's not a, like, of all the, like, Oscar season is now, of all the things that get nominated, it's every single one of those things.
Yeah.
It's literally all of the boxes. It's like a monument to me. How this movie looks, how it was made, how it is. It's just like a technical achievement of so many things.
There is so much good about it. I really do have a hard time finding a complaint or some kind of issue with it because there's just, it's an onslaught of good things. Everything works.
Yes.
And the things I didn't think were going to work, I ended up liking. I was really worried about Lily Rose Depp. I had no issue with her. I think she's great.
Yeah.
Although I am curious about the alternate universe where it was Harry Styles as Thomas and Anya Taylor-Joy as Ellen.
I think it still would have been all right. I think that would have worked.
I don't think Harry Styles would have worked, but Anya Taylor-Joy would have been fine.
Right.
I'm sure she'll be back for the werewolf movie.
Yeah. I also loved the Renfield character.
Oh yeah, the Renfield was great.
I thought they were very interesting and how they were done. Very interesting.
Now that we can talk about it, I remember the first time watching the theater, and when he bites the head off the bird,
the pigeon.
I actually felt my body tense up and cringe.
Well, just because blood spurting right out the top where the head's supposed to be.
It was so good. I'm really glad you like this one, because I'm going to inject it into my bloodstream.
Yeah, this will be Longlegs. I don't expect to watch too much.
Longlegs
Maybe
is different beast because
a mystery. But I feel like Nosferatu will be that's the yearly. That's a guaranteed spooky season watch. And it'll be one to. I think you mentioned it. This is one to, and Phil mentioned it too. And I was questioning both of you guys when you said it, but all of a sudden, every vampire movie, it's just going to be compared.
This is the bar.
The standard. And I hate doing that. I didn't want to do that, but now it's just a monument of a movie.
It's the bar.
It's so incredible.
I hope that they don't take the look of him to every movie going forward.
No. Again,
these movies, they
talked
like
about
to
this when
cherry
we
pick
had
stuff
the
that keep working. Like Underworld did the black
Yeah.
coats. We had black coats until Nosferatu.
That's right.
Even Dracula
Yeah.
2000, he wore a black coat. So
Yeah.
they're just little things. But yeah, this is the new standard, I think. And, when you talk Halloween watches, it will be this, Bella, and Interview with the Vampire watch year round, so it doesn't matter. But those two specifically.
Yeah. It's gonna be 31 Days of Vampire movies soon.
I mean, I could do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm sure
sit
you
through the
could.
shitty ones. It's fine.
That's right.
Children of the Night. Watch it. You will regret it.
There's a T-shirt right there.
That's what we need our merch to say. We need merch.
Yeah. You will regret this.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of making a shirt, and on the back it would say all the bullshit. I'm thinking about merch. But anyway.
All the bullshit. Yeah, 2 horror movies for me this
That's
week.
a lot for you.
My God.
And you saw the kids die.
I gotta get a cleanse here.
And both of them.
Yeah. Oh my God. That scene.
It's amazing, right?
Oh my God. So I'm like, when she's running towards the door, I'm like, there's no way they're gonna show this. Like she's gonna go through the door and that'll be the end of it. And they really don't even show it. All they show tossing the body aside. I was like, oh my God.
What's funny is they don't even show him attacking Emma Corrin. Just the children.
No. She's just dead.
Yeah, she's dead. Poor lady.
Yeah. When he tosses that little girl aside, man.
It's great.
It's the way.
That's
so
you
good.
knew he meant business when he killed the kids. He gave her.
Well, I knew he meant business when he spoke. All he needed to do was
he gave
speak.
her 3 days. He's like, look, lady, you got 3 days to get your affairs in order. This is happening.
I'm coming for you.
You better be ready. This is happening.
That's funny.
Extended cut next month.
All right. Yeah. I think that's going to do it, Chris. Our half-hour show and an over-hour show. So look at us go. Where can people find
you guys can follow me on the Twitters at that Chris Evans 0. You can also follow the podcast I do with my buddies Anthony Crusoe and Phil Walsh over at DC Unlimited Pod. And as always, I would love it if you would follow this show at G of the Geeks. We do have a new platform, so we're back, I think, with all the fun stuff. Emmet is better with the rest of the plugs, so he'll take over.
If you're watching, you can follow me everywhere at Emmet Davis 7. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. All you have to do is search for Gathering of the Geeks, and you. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for commenting. We appreciate you as always. We gather on Sundays.
End of session.